Live.
Hi everyone, it's Plastic EP here, and I've got a world premiere for you all around the world. Doesn't matter where you are. I've got with me KAISER George, and I've got Chris Taylor. How are you guys?
I'm very well. Chris, how are you?
I'm feeling tip-top, George.
Good.
Yeah.
Now listen, KAISER, you're coming in from Scotland, and Chris, you're coming in from the UK. Now, everybody on the net has seen your pictures of your puppets and all this work that you're doing in the background that's fascinating. So now I'm going to leave you with it. KAISER, go for it and tell everyone about these fantastic puppets and the artwork and the boxes that you've been doing, Chris. I'm fascinated. Let's go.
Well, why don't I just show you one of them?
Yeah.
Right.
Jump straight in.
This is, I'll have to sit back a bit. This is the artwork by Chris on the box for the Link Ray puppet. This is the first puppet I made, actually.
Creek.
Look
There
at
he
that.
is.
Hey.
That's unreal.
Hello.
Exclusive, Daniel.
Hello, children.
How tall is he, KAISER? How tall? I'm interested in the height.
Most of them are about 21 inches tall.
Yeah, just show me. That's fascinating.
There we go.
It's a bit like the Thunderbirds, isn't it?
They're a bit smaller than Thunderbird's puppets, but not a whole lot.
Fair enough.
You sit
Just
down there.
bring him in front. Bring him in front, George.
You want him in front?
Yeah, I can see a bit of a similarity between him and you.
Yeah.
That's it.
There you go.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
Well done. Well done. That's great.
And it looks just like that, look.
That's it.
That's fantastic. Look at that.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So that was number one, was it?
Number one. Yeah.
That was the first one, yeah.
That's the first one that I saw George make. Well, I saw it online. And that got me quite excited. And then I think it was his Buddy Holly puppet, and I just done a drawing of Buddy Holly for somebody as a commission. And that's when I kind of thought, ooh, this is exciting stuff. So I did a mock-up of a box and sent it to George. And the rest, as they say, is history. We've been working on boxes and all kinds of stuff. So it's been pretty cool.
Can I ask George how long it took to make that puppet?
They take about a week to make. Each one takes about a week. I'm getting slightly faster at it, a little bit, but I don't want to rush it. Because if you rush it, it's a disaster.
Can I ask what's it made of? What is the head made of that you sculpt the head? What is the head made of?
The head, well, here's another one.
Yeah.
Escarita.
Ooh.
That looks like a friend of mine.
It's, they're made of sculpting foam, this stuff.
Okay, good. So you can break that, can't you? You can break that in your hand if you want to.
You could what?
You could break that if you wanted to in your hand.
No, you couldn't.
No. Okay.
No, too tough. If it was thinner, you could. So anyway, they sculpted out of that, and then it's air drying clay over the top. And that's how it's done.
Fascinating.
Now
So-
go and make your own, kids.
Who was that puppet? Who was that puppet you just showed us that walked past?
What puppet?
That one. Who's that? Who's-
Escarita. He was
Okay.
he was signed to Capitol Records in the 1950s. He
Okay.
made one LP, didn't you, Escarita? And it didn't do very well, so they dropped him.
Okay.
But he's got a big cult following nowadays. He's probably more popular now than he was then.
I love the costume. Have you got an invisible man there? Did you make one of the invisible man? That's a joke.
Yeah. Can I see it?
yeah, where's your invisible man?
Now, George, I've got to say, this is serious. After watching that promo of all your puppets, in my head has been going all day. Is he going to do John Lennon? Is he going to do a puppet of John Lennon? Or is he going to do a puppet of the Four Beatles? It's been on my mind all day to ask you.
Let me put your mind at rest, Plastic.
Okay.
Yes, probably, but not now.
Okay.
Because this series is all 1950s American stars.
Great.
Because Chris and I are doing a set of bubblegum cards. Chris,
Can't
tell
wait.
us all about them.
Well, yeah, we've started making them or producing them, but they're not gone to print yet, Daniel. So it's taking George's photographs of his marionettes, and then it's colouring up in an authentic way to make them look like those sort of 50s, 60s, early 60s bubblegum cards. You'd probably get, what, 4 in a pack or something with a stick of bubblegum, and then you collect them all. But we're going to try and do the entire series. So if people want to get, well, they're desperate to get their hands on George's puppets, but they're not for sale, so I think they've got work to do. Is that right, George?
Yes, that's right.
So we're going to put them all together in one pack, and hopefully that'll kind of, like, you know, satisfy people's appetite to get their hands on a very nice looking set of these beautiful marionettes in printed form. So we'll show some of that stuff kind of later when we get down the line and printing it.
So are we going to see a little bit of artwork now? You can show us, Chris. Can you show us something?
I'll quickly show you just how, I mean, for any budding artists out there, Eddie Cochrane's very difficult.
It certainly is.
But this is how rough they'll start. It's really kind of, so it doesn't look like anything like them. You can sort of see. And then I might, if I get good at it, I kind of do that's Chuck Berry.
Yeah, that's good to me.
So Chuck went quite well. So did Bo. You see Bo Diddley?
Yeah.
Yeah, Bo Diddley.
Oh, Bo.
Those two were the kind of early ones I did. But then, I mean, I've got several sketches of just stuff that just doesn't work. So you kind of see a bit of a Carl Perkins, are we there? And then I'm trying to draw Wonder, and that's just proving really difficult.
Yeah, he's difficult.
You know, this stuff isn't easy, and it doesn't come easy to me.
Exactly.
And I've got multiple Eddie Cochrane's, you know, I don't even show you them. It's just all over the shop.
That's nice.
It's the same. It's exactly the same with the puppets, though. It's exactly the same. Sometimes they start out, well, they always start out, they don't look like the people. And hopefully, you hope that you'll get to a stage where they do. But sometimes it can be like a day and a half, and it's starting to look like them, and then you do something to it, and it's gone, and it doesn't look like them anymore. So it can be really difficult. So, Chris, I understand. Yeah,
we've had some really good conversations about, you know, you'll start off down one track thinking, you know, that person, like Gene Vincent, for example.
Yeah.
Even Jerry Lee Lewis, and two of those, again, just to get the likeness right was a challenge.
Yeah.
So I think I ended up doing a composite of a couple of photographs and actually working straight from the photographs. And I think George has had a similar problem. I think you binned a Bo Diddley. Is that right?
Yeah, I did bin the Bo Diddley. There was, yeah.
So, you know, it's like one of these things, you kind of go through this entire process, and for the most part, it can be quite enjoyable, but then there's always some challenges that you have to face. It becomes quite frustrating, and you kind of walk away from it thinking, I'm going to give this up.
Yeah. So, George, you could be working on Chuck Berry, and the knife slips or something, and you accidentally cut off his nose or something, or ear, and it's gone.
Well, yeah, it could happen. Could happen. Yeah. It's also best not to drink too much before you do it.
What other puppets are we going to see, George?
Oh, I don't know. Well, can I move the thing around to show you?
No problem.
Yeah.
Well, there's Eddie Cochrane in the background.
Look at that. Unbelievable.
There we go.
Oh, look at that.
Wonder. Little Richard's up there.
High above everybody else.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The absolute king. There's Carl Perkins.
Oh, fantastic.
I'll give him a wiggle. There we go. Anyway, most of them are hanging up in the other room. There's
course, but this is like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but for puppets.
Yeah, it pretty much is. Yeah.
Well, I think George is resurrecting these, and he's bringing to, I think, from the kind of conversations that people have had about it, I think it is bringing these things to life. It is a resurrection, and I think people are really resonating with these things because it's capturing something. You know, we've all listened to the records, we've all seen the iconic photographs, and those are burned into your mind. And then when you see a physical thing, it kind of sets people's imaginations off, and it becomes this. It becomes real. So I think it's an exciting thing to work on.
Yeah, it's sort of like having lots of little imaginary friends, but they're actually there. It's quite good. I like it. There's a definitely childhood element to
What
it.
you're doing is reinventing the past and bringing it to the future when new generations can see these puppets and then go back and say, who's Chuck Berry? I see the puppet, but I want to know more about him. So straight away they go to Google and they go, oh, that's Chuck Berry. Oh, that's Little Richard. Oh, that's what it is exactly. You're reinventing the past that no one's doing and reinventing rock and roll. I saw that poster that you posted on the net. Now, I don't know if it was 20 pictures of the puppets, but that is a poster to sell and print and roll up and sell to people. People would buy that and put on their wall. I've got to tell you, it's that good.
Well, good. Great.
That's hopefully where we want to be. But again, it's not a commercial venture as such. It's, I guess, it's looking at it and doing it in a sensible, calm, collected manner.
Of course.
And getting the products right. And if it doesn't kind of work, it's not just forcing it. If it's not, people don't want it, or it's just sticking it on something for the sake of sticking it on something. The gum cards, it kind of links to products we've been looking at anyway, like the hit stars from 1957. So it resonates from that perspective. So I think it's going to kind of give people like this wonderful collection that they can have a frame, or they can just kind of keep hold of. It's a collectible piece.
This is exactly like the 60s where you bought the bubblegum cards, full cards with bubblegum in a wrapper. And the most valuable part was the wrapper because they threw that away and they kept the cards and they had the gum. So this is resurrecting that
gum
too.
is the most valuable bit.
The gum, yeah.
Gum. It's the gum.
Yeah, you don't see many gums that going for sale, do you? Like,
no, but some people you might sell it without the gum. It might be easier to sell it without the gum.
Well, I've been looking for gum, but it's really hard to find the flat strips that are like chewing gum strips. Nobody seems to make them anymore.
Well, those days are gone. Now, what's it like? Who's your favorite puppet, George?
Oh, that's a good question. Possibly. I don't really have a favorite. That's like saying who's your favorite child.
Okay, I know that. Same as songs.
It might be Sister Rosetta Tharpe.
Unbelievable.
Gospel singer, and fantastic guitar player.
Yeah. Have you seen that film clip where she's on the on the railway station platform and she's singing?
Yeah.
Isn't that unbelievable?
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Well, she's wearing that very outfit from that clip that you're talking about, Daniel.
Yeah, it's the same outfit.
So all the details, the microphone and things.
Same guitar too.
Yeah.
Same guitar. I don't know how you do it, George. It's a labour of love. Anything else you guys want to show us? Show the world?
I don't know if I've got much else here. It's all next door.
Well,
anything?
Well, I guess I could hold up a print. My print.
Go on. Yay!
Hey, the Kinks. I love it.
Fantastic prints, fantastic illustrations. I've got a set of them, and they're brilliant.
Fantastic.
I suppose this is like the little entry point into me working with George, because I was doing these. So I just think I'd just drawn a Bo Diddley, and then next thing I've seen is George's marionette, and I'm kind of thinking we're kind of working in a almost tandem here, and so when we kind of work together on the box art and the other bits and pieces, it feels like a natural fit. This isn't like a forced sort of like, oh, I'm pestering George to kind of do work for him. It's kind of like a symbiotic relationship where I'm responding to the quality of his work and so forth. So we kind of both chip it in. Well, it feels like that to me anyway.
It completely is. Yeah, it totally is. It feels like a completely natural fit. And everybody that I've spoken to that's seen the puppets in the boxes, they say the artwork is just perfect for the puppets. It's the perfect combination. It really is.
I mean, one final caveat to that, Daniel, is this probably wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for a pandemic.
Yeah,
exactly. But
it wouldn't have.
Don't these things happen? I wouldn't have a show on the net if it wasn't for the pandemic.
Yeah,
so we wouldn't have met up. We wouldn't have met up if it wasn't for the pandemic. Now let me say something. These are just ideas. I just saw your fabulous artwork. And if you'd be kind enough just to show it again, I've got 2 suggestions, and you don't have to listen to me.
Me?
But those pictures are fantastic to be made into T-shirts or into mugs. You know, coffee mugs. And there's also companies out there that actually do all the work. You're up for no costs, and they just take a percentage of the sales also.
I'm going to just show you this one.
Yeah.
I'm going to just show you this one. So this is Billy Lyer and his friend George Crabtree, because I live like 5 minutes away from Billy Fisher's house in Bradford. So I don't know if you've seen the film Billy Lyer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's just down the road. Yeah. So that's why I did this one, and it's like based on the Beatles' Twist and Shout sort of EP sleeve. So that's Bradford. That's the war memorial that featured in the film, and that's Tom Courtney who plays Billy Fisher, and that's the other chap.
Have you got the Shangri-La's handy? Have you got the Shangri-La's, Chris?
Yeah, sure.
Shangri-La's is. I've just got a few here that hidden under a stack of boxes and packaging, just like your puppets are sort of buried away somewhere.
Yeah. Well, they're all brilliant.
Thank you. Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah, I think George has posted them on the net, and what I want to know now is all the links and where people now can find whatever you've done, so they can actually go and check it out for themselves.
Well, it's tricky. We've not got one place for the marionettes. George is posting to his Facebook page, and people seem to be engaging with it there. It's kind of just going out. I think it's sort of finding its own way and spreading far and wide. I think, George, you've done a couple of interviews about your work, haven't you, on some publications?
Yeah, but I think what you were suggesting is what we should do, and set up a page just for so we can both be admins or whatever you call it. Yeah,
because I mean, I think we're quite surprised about how engaged people have been with it. There's been lots and lots and lots of activity, and excitement, especially when we did the Link Ray reveal. That kind of seemed to, the barometer was going in the red, so that was nice that people are appreciating this stuff and responding to it. So it's positive. Yeah, it's great. It's nice, really nice.
You also did the artwork for, what is it, Billy and the Pirates? What was the name of that band again? I saw that.
Yeah, Johnny Kidd and the Pirates.
That's right. And actually, I like your shirt, George.
Really like
it. Yes, so do I. George, I also love your T-shirt. It reminds me of that, the red and the white.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You've just come off the ship. You guys, you know what? I love you guys because you crack me up, and your sense of humour, because, I mean, I'm here in Australia, and you know everything in Australia is based on the motherland, which is England. Like, you go down a street, it's like Victoria Street or Victoria Park, and we used to have those red pillar boxes, the same ones that they had in the UK. Half of them have gone, right? They've got metal ones now. But in the 60s, you have the red post boxes too. You open up the red door, you go inside, make a call.
Yeah, we've had all that. We've not moved far on from those days, Daniel.
Now, I just want to ask you, other than that, if you get this, as I said, get a Facebook page going just on your puppets, I'm sure you're going to get a lot of influx of fans. Plus, also from this interview, it's going to go everywhere. So people are going to take more of an interest. And as I said, as this project develops, this won't be our first or last interview. But if there's anything else you'd like to add to our conversation today, let's go ahead and say it now.
What? I'm happy. Chris, you got anything you want to say?
I'm very happy
with my T-shirt.
I'm very, very, very happy. I might send you this jacket to cut up, George. It's a leather waistcoat, so you might need that for some outfits.
You know what else, George? You know what? I'm sure when you open the light in that room and it's dark and you watch the marionette eyes, it's a bit scary. I'd be a bit scared, you know. Those things are so lifelike. I'm not joking. Like, seriously.
Yeah, no, I can understand why some people don't like marionettes. You know, there are people that don't like them because they are quite creepy. But I think the creepy aspect is good. I like it. I enjoy that.
No, I love them. To me, it's like the Thunderbirds. And believe me, when the Thunderbirds came out, I was very tiny. And because you saw the strings and you saw the way it worked on the Thunderbirds, you couldn't get it here in Australia as a kid. You've never seen anything where they use a person's hand and it's a marionette. Like, I'm actually thinking when I do interviews, you see the way how I'm like this?
Yeah.
I can be like this with my eyes blinking and my mouth just talks, but I'm not there. I talk somewhere else. And I'm just like this.
Yeah.
And my eyes blink. I reckon that's the future. That's the future of interviews.
I've often wondered if you are truly real.
It's real.
It's real.
George, I'm going to tell you something. I've never taken my glasses off for anybody in any interview. But you know what? This is a first. I'll take my glasses off because you guys are that important.
Whoa.
How's that?
Whoa. You're so handsome.
I'll reveal myself.
Alive.
That's it. But look, I wouldn't do it for any other interview, okay? Because my persona is one thing, but when I put these glasses on, I can tell you it's a bit like Clark Kent, you know? I turn into something else. So you can appreciate yourself like you're doing puppets. You do your job, but you're also a rock star too. That not many people know if they want to see a video clip that you did. The new Piccadilly's, it took you 3 years to make that video. Tell me a little bit about that song and that video. You have to before we go.
Well, it's a cover of a Clash song, Complete Control. And the new Piccadilly's did all cover versions. And what we tried to do was pick cover versions that kind of didn't suit our music, but make it fit, kind of force it to fit. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. But the Clash cover worked pretty well. So we decided to make a video. And I foolishly decided to set it in a recording studio, not thinking that every single microphone, mic cable, tape recorder, power supply for the microphones, the mixing desk, the little telephones, it all had to be made from scratch. So yes, it took 3 years. In spare time, not every day.
You did it in 3 days in lockdown.
And you know what's amazing too? You also do that song, the Ramones one, Judy is a Punk. And I know it's on YouTube and it's fantastic. The new Piccadilly's. And you've also got another channel there for KAISER as well, isn't it? What's the other channel?
There's the KAISER's page as well. The Judy is a Punk one.
Yeah.
I got the idea from, I was listening to the John Peel show many, many years ago. And he played, it was like a honky-tonk piano version of Judy is a Punk. There was no other instruments on it, just some guy playing. And it was great. It was absolutely brilliant. And I'd carried this in my mind for years. And I thought that song, you could play it in almost any style. And it really suits the beat group style.
You know what? Unbelievable the talent you got, George. Unbelievable the talent you got, Chris. And we're not going to build it up. It's going to take it bit by bit, slowly. Start off with your Facebook page and watch it grow. All right. Seriously, I can't thank you guys enough. So from Plastic EP and
me, Chris Lindsay,
and
KAISER George is there.
That's it, KAISER George. We love you all. Thanks again. Tune in soon.
Here, Daniel, have a banana.
Thank you. Love you guys.